Welcome to the official NXT review and results video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below and turn on those bells for all notifications. If you guys are excited for NXT TakeOver Toronto this Saturday night on the WWE Network, I want you guys to hit that like button as hard as you possibly can. That's the only thing I want you guys to do. And also, welcome to all my new subs here on the channel. Hope you guys are loving the content. If you guys are new to the channel, I want you guys to also show your support by hitting that subscribe button down below and turn on those bells for all notifications. For every single notification when I upload, you guys will be notified. So there you go. Also, if you guys haven't followed me on Twitter yet, follow me on Twitter at Chris from Loring and Snapchat, Chris Most Hated, which is on my social medias. If you guys are excited for NXT TakeOver Toronto, I want you guys to leave a comment down below. What match are you guys mostly excited for? I'm excited for the entire card, low-key. I think Io versus Candice would be a really good match. I think Shayna versus Mia could be a good match. Could be a good matchup. The NXT Tag Team title match is going to be a barn burner classic. I would honestly have that match kick off TakeOver on Saturday night. I would honestly have the NXT Tag Team Championship match kick off TakeOver. Why not? I would. Here's how I would do the order for NXT TakeOver Toronto. The NXT Tag Team Championship match. You got to start that match on fire. Then you put Io versus Candice second. Then you put the North American Triple Threat Championship match third. Then you put Mia versus Shayna fourth, and then you put Cole versus Gargano fifth and last for the main event. That's what I would do. So if you guys want, leave a comment down below. What would be your match order for NXT TakeOver Toronto this upcoming Saturday? But NXT tonight, all they did was, give us video packages, a contract signing, and technically two matches and a fucking destroyer of KILLIAN DAIN destroying Matt Riddle. That match never got underway. What did you expect? To have that match at NXT TV? No. This match can happen at a TakeOver. In my honest opinion. This match can happen at a TakeOver. It possibly can. Low-key. Low-key. But all NXT did tonight was get you guys ready for TakeOver. And that's just the typical NXT go-home show that they're just going to give you guys a match here, video packages here, another match there, a more video package, and then it gets you hyped up for TakeOver. That's all they did. NXT did their job tonight, was to get you guys built up and excited for TakeOver. If you guys are excited for TakeOver, let me know down below in the comment section. Sound off down below in the comment section. We'll go over everything that happened to NXT tonight. Before anything, we will have a little piece of information here. NXT TV matches set to be taped in Toronto are the following. Before NXT TakeOver Toronto goes on the air this Saturday night, the live card in Toronto at the Scotiabank Arena will feature the following matches being taped for the 8/14 edition of NXT. Which will be Jordan Miles versus Cameron Grimes in the finals of the NXT Breakout Tournament, with the winner receiving the NXT title match of their choice, and Breezango going in a tag team match against the Forgotten Sons. So we will see those two matches next week. In my honest opinion, I really didn't want, and don't get me wrong here, I wanted the finals of the NXT Breakout Tournament to happen at TakeOver. I want those two guys, I want both Jordan Miles and Cameron Grimes to be featured at a TakeOver. Have them be in front of that TakeOver crowd, but they technically are going to be in front of that TakeOver crowd. It's just that it's not going to be on TakeOver. It's not going to be on TakeOver, which I'm okay with, but at the same time, I want to see those two men excel. I want to see these two men go at it at TakeOver. In front of that crowd, on the network, at TakeOver. That's what I want them to do. But you can't really have it your way here when it comes to the WWE. But it is what it is. I don't mind it. It's just that now we know next week on NXT, it's going to be just two matches next week just for NXT. And then probably next week NXT, they'll probably go over everything that happened during TakeOver. They'll probably go over everything, all the results, all the things that happened during TakeOver. And then we'll have those two matches, and then that'll probably be the end of NXT from there. And then we're getting Breezango versus the Forgotten Sons. I don't mind it. Next week for NXT, I don't mind it. I don't mind it whatsoever. I want to see how Fandango does after being out for such a long time. I want to see how he does. And Tyler Breeze, I love Tyler Breeze. It's just that they're just throwing in there against the Forgotten Sons, which should be a good match. I'm not gonna lie to you. Should be good. I can't wait for NXT next week. But you guys should know, after TakeOver, they don't really continue storyline continuation. So we're just gonna see those 2 matches, and then that's about it for NXT TV next week. If you guys don't know who I am your boy Chris. Thank you guys so much for tuning back into the channel on this Wednesday, August 7th, 2019. Thank you guys so much for tuning back into the channel. If you guys are excited for NXT TakeOver Toronto this upcoming Saturday, hit that thumbs up, leave a comment down below. What will be your match order for NXT TakeOver Toronto? And also, what match are you mostly excited for NXT TakeOver Toronto? And also, if you guys are new to the channel, looking for wrestling content and gaming content, I want you guys to show your support by hitting that subscribe button down below and turn on those bells for all notifications. Check out SmackDown Live Review from last night. I want to thank every single one of you guys. I gained 2 new subscribers last night, and the video right now, as we speak, is at 188 views with 12 thumbs up. I'm loving the support. This was my first video since, I believe, since Sunday. I took Monday off because I was in Jersey. I came back Tuesday afternoon. I got home just enough time to watch SmackDown Live, and there you go. I give you guys a review. So there you guys go. Link to SmackDown Live Review will be in the annotation above that you see on the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Also, check out episode 46 of the Reality Podcast from this past Sunday. World Wrestling Entertainment desperately wants to make Seth Rollins look cool. Right now, Seth Rollins does not look cool. He looks like the biggest bitch right now on Monday Night Raw. Nothing but facts there. Link to episode 46 of the Reality Podcast will be in the annotation above that you see on the upper right-hand corner of your screen. And also check out episode 45 of the Reality Podcast from this past Friday. Roman Reigns' SummerSlam opponent has been revealed. I wonder who that could be. Find out on episode 45 of the Reality Podcast. Link to this video will be in the annotation above that you see on the upper right-hand corner of your screen. This is the official home of the Reality Podcast, so make sure you are connecting with your boy Chris on social media. Twitter, Chris from Loring, and Snapchat, Chris was Hayden. And like I said, if you guys are enjoying the content, be sure to show your support by hitting that subscribe button down below and turning on those bells for all notifications. Let's begin NXT review from Full Sail University. NXT kicked off tonight with William Regal, the general manager of NXT, is in the ring. He is here for the contract signing for the NXT Tag Team title match at TakeOver on Saturday night between the Street Profits and Undisputed Era. I love this segment though. Angelo and Montez stopped William Regal before introducing the Undisputed Era because they say they can do a proper introduction. Montez channels his inner road dog and calls them O'Reilly Auto Parts. This is just funny. And Lawrence Fishburne Jr. I'm telling you, man, Montez Ford is hilarious. I love it. So Undisputed came out, Undisputed Era comes out, and they say, well, Bobby says that was funny, and he says he forgot to laugh because it slipped his mind. Kyle says he remembered to laugh, but chose not to because it wasn't funny. Bobby says the truth hurts, so if you are feeling sensitive today, you might want to cover them ears. You are not on this level, but for the first time in your careers, those autographs are in demand, so we need to get those contracts signed. You have no chance of leaving TakeOver with the titles because they are better than you, bell to bell, and they are funnier. Bobby asked Kyle to tell that joke. Kyle said the Street Profits are the NXT Tag Team Champions. And Kyle says that's the joke. That is the joke. Bobby appreciates that Montez and Angelo find it funny. If anything, if I'm Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, I'm finding this as motivation. Motivation, low key. Montez says you have shocked the system ever since you stepped foot in NXT. You have had titles and you were featured on NXT TV and takeovers. You have beaten every tag team in NXT history. Angelo runs through the teams and says you are probably the best team ever in NXT. You can't argue with that. You cannot argue with that. That is Complete fact. Low key. Bobby says he is not going to argue with that. I mean, you can't, because it's completely true. Montez asks, what makes you think losing is an option? Because now that they are featured and everyone sees them and feels them, what makes you think that losing is an option? The only option is to win. Angelo said that TakeOver, the Street Profits are going to beat that ass, and that is undisputed. Angelo and Montez signed the contract, and then Bobby and Kyle signed the contract, and it is already official. I'm looking forward to this match on Saturday night. If anything, I would have this tag team match kick off TakeOver. You want to start NXT TakeOver Toronto hot? You want to make a statement to the entire wrestling world this month of August? You start this matchup first. You have them go 15 to 20 minutes. Give me a classic between those two teams. And don't get me wrong, I love the Street Profits and I love Undisputed Era. I think those two teams are willing to deliver a 5-star classic this Saturday night at TakeOver. And you know how Triple H is. Do your fucking job. Triple H is going to tell everybody in the locker room on Saturday night, deliver. Like I know you will deliver. Believe me, those two teams at TakeOver on Saturday night, they will deliver. This could be one of the most talked about tag team matches of 2019. I highly know that for sure. And I can't wait. I can't wait for TakeOver. We take a look at the North American Championship match between Roderick Strong, Velveteen Dream, and Pete Dunne. Now, my thoughts on Pete Dunne being in this match. Now, does Pete Dunne deserve to be in this NXT North American Championship match? No. No. Don't get me wrong. I love Pete Dunne. But does he deserve an opportunity at the NXT North American Championship? No. No. What has he done to gain an NXT North American Championship match? What has he done? Nothing. He hasn't won a match. All he's done is been on been on NXT. That's it. I'm hearing rumblings that Pete Dunne is going to be in NXT for a while. For a while. Now, does he get a run at an NXT Championship in that NXT roster? Probably. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Roderick Strong versus Pete Dunne down the line. Possibly, crossing my fingers, at TakeOver Chicago for the NXT North American Championship. I would love that, low-key. I really would. I really would. But don't get me wrong when I say Pete Dunne does not deserve to be in this match. I ask, what has he done? But then again, the reason why he's there at TakeOver in this match specifically is to make the overall card that much better. Now, would I complain about a Roderick Strong versus Velveteen Dream match at TakeOver? No. I wouldn't complain about that. That would be a classic in itself. But adding Pete Dunne to this match overall, it's a whole lot better. It's a whole lot better. And who's to say Pete Dunne is going to be in this match just to eat the pinfall? We all know Pete Dunne is going to be there on Saturday night to take the pinfall. Just the question is, who's pinning Pete Dunne? You know Velveteen Dream, it's only a matter of time before Velveteen Dream gets called up or should I say, demoted to the main roster. I say Roderick Strong wins the championship at TakeOver. Roderick Strong wins the title at TakeOver. Velveteen Dream gets called down to the main roster. And then we get a feud, a entertaining, fantastic feud between Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne for the NXT North American Championship. I wouldn't mind it. I would love that. Especially, you can book that match for NXT TakeOver Chicago Survivor Series weekend. Are you going to sit there and complain about a Roderick Strong Pete Dunne NXT North American Championship match at TakeOver Chicago? No. No. You know NXT TakeOver Chicago, by default, NXT TakeOver Chicago is going to be a packed show. You think Triple H for 1 second wants to stack up that show as much as possible? Already your first match in mind after TakeOver Toronto. Your first match, Triple H, in the back of your mind. Pete Dunne versus Roderick Strong for the NXT North American Championship at TakeOver Chicago. Take my money. Take my dinero. I'm telling you. Expect that to happen at TakeOver Chicago. Expect it. Expect it. But this triple threat match at TakeOver is going to be good. It's going to be really, really good. Fantastic. We take a look back at the NXT Women's Championship match. Mia mentions that she grew up in a war zone in SoCal. Wrestling was an escape because of the fans. That is why she is here. Mia says she will be damned if she is going to let them down. Her motivation is to show these people that it is possible when everything is against you. Shayna says Mia has a great story, but coming from nothing, but a great story will not impress her. The end of the story is always the same. This division is more talented than ever, and she is the champion. That is true. This division is more talented than ever. The NXT Women's Division is much more talented than the Raw and SmackDown Women's Division combined. And no one's gonna fucking argue with me on that standpoint either. Shayna says she got signed because of what she did in the ring, not because people chanted her name. Mia says Shayna is dominant only because she has two people protecting her. Has she won anything on her own? It has always been Shayna plus two, and that is why she took them out. Shayna says Mia does not deserve a title match. She deserves to be arrested. She will put Mia's street trash fantasies to sleep. Mia says Shayna will see someone across the ring who does not fear her. The build for this match has been good. I'm not gonna lie to you here. I'm not gonna lie to you here. Now, it's only a matter of time before Shayna Baszler also gets called down to the main roster. It's only a matter of time. And I fear for Shayna's life on the main roster. I feel bad. Already I feel bad. The reason why I feel bad is because look how she looks. You think for 1 second Vince is gonna push her on the main roster? You guys tell me. Now, to start Friday's podcast, to start episode 47 of the Reality Podcast on Friday, I will have this rant going on about how people like Charlotte and Alexa is being pushed on the main roster, while people like Sasha, Bayley, Ember Moon, Asuka, among others, that are not being pushed. You guys are going to want to tune in to Friday's episode of the podcast because I'm going to go off. I'm going to go completely off. I was going to say off the script, but literally off the script. I was going to go completely off on this whole entire women's bullshit that I'm seeing on Twitter. All this plastic surgery bullshit that I seen on Twitter. I'm going to state my opinion on this on Friday's podcast. So get your popcorn, get your sword ready, because Friday's podcast is going to be packed with action on Friday's podcast. But like I said, Mia and Shayna, their build has been good. I fear for Shayna's life after NXT when she gets called down to the main roster. Do I think Mia can win the NXT Women's Championship? Possibly. I'm not going to give you guys my prediction. I'll give you guys my prediction on Saturday. Or should I say Friday. We go over the card for Saturday for the podcast. So this weekend's going to be a lot of uploads this weekend. You got the podcast on Friday. You got episode 48 of the podcast plus NXT TakeOver review. Then you got episode 48. No, 40. Yeah, 47 is Friday. 48 is Saturday. 49 is Sunday. Plus you got that on Sunday. Then plus SummerSlam review on Sunday. Plus SummerSlam review on Sunday. It's going to be a lot of double uploads this weekend, especially on Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be a whole lot. But let's see what happens on TakeOver. We got a match between Joaquin Wilde versus Shane Thorne. This match was all right. It wasn't really a great match, but it was good. It was good for what it was. Shane Thorne wins here. The match was good, by the way. It was good for what it was. For a NXT go-home show type of show, it was a good match for what it was. Thorne beats the count into the ring, but he rolls back to the floor to regroup. Wilde tries to bring Thrown back into the ring, but Wilde is pulled to the floor and sent to the ring post and ring steps. Thorne hip tosses Wilde onto this ramp and kicks Wilde. Wilde is sent into the apron. They return to the ring, and Thorne with a running knee for a 3 count. So Shane Thorne gets the victory over Joaquin Wilde. I love Shane Thorne. Shane Thorne, I want to see more Shane Thorne. I definitely want to see more of Joaquin Wilde. I did say that while he was competing against Angel Garza in that classic match in the first round of the NXT Breakout Tournament. But I want to see more of these men. I want to see more of these men, especially Shane Thorne. I think Shane Thorne has a bright future ahead of him in NXT. It's only a matter of time before Triple H pushes him. I think 2020 will be a good year for one Shane Thorne. We take a look at the match between Io Shirai versus Candice LeRae for TakeOver. Io versus Candice is going to be a barn burner at TakeOver. I expect Io and Candice to literally burn the house down at TakeOver. Not literally and figuratively, but, you know, as a phrase, of course. But I love Io's heel turn. I just love it. Io's heel turn was unexpected. It was it was only a matter of time before we seen it coming. We saw it coming. When it came to NXT TakeOver 25, we did see a little glimpse of a heel turn from Io. Because it's not like a babyface to lose to a heel and then grab a kendo stick and start beating the shit out of your opponent. It's not like that. But I like it. I liked it. It was necessary. But now, looking back at it, heel turning heel, I love it. I absolutely love it. Now against Candice LeRae, it's the perfect opponent. It's the perfect opponent. Now, let's say if Mia Yim wins the NXT Women's Championship and then Io beats Candice at TakeOver, do we see a match between Mia Yim and Io Shirai for the NXT Women's Championship? Maybe. TakeOver Chicago? Maybe. Maybe, folks. Could be good. Could be good. The only thing I want to see about Mia Yim more, I want to see her more in the ring. I want to see her improve in the ring. I want to see her improve. That's why the Performance Center is there. Is to improve your ring skills. I think if Mia improves her ring skills, don't get me wrong, I love the gimmick. The gimmick is okay with me as long as she matches that with her ring skills. That's it. Her in-ring skills. That's all I care about. That's low-key all I care about. But Io versus Candice at TakeOver should be really good. And I can't wait for it. We are back with a video of Harley Race. God rest her soul, by the way. Rest in peace, Harley Race here. One of the greatest champions of all time. Former 8-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion. You know, one of the greatest of all time. It's sad that he left us too soon, man. It's too soon for him to leave us. God rest his soul, by the way. Harley Race. You got a match between Matt Riddle and Killian Dain. This match never really started, low-key. Dain attacks Riddle on his way to the ring. Dain with a crossbody and punches. Dain with a cannonball into the ring steps, official check on Riddle. That's it. That's it. Now, JD said this on, I believe on NXT Review a few weeks back. And I kind of agree with this. I kind of really agree with this. The reason why Matt Riddle, now originally, it was supposed to be Matt Riddle against Cole at TakeOver Toronto for the NXT Championship. It was either going to be that or some sort of a triple threat between those three men. Between Cole, Riddle, and Gargano. Because you're not going to leave Gargano out of TakeOver. You're just not. It's impossible. Leaving Gargano out of TakeOver is like saying leaving Undertaker out of WrestleMania. It's impossible. It's impossible. You cannot leave Gargano out of TakeOver. He's Mr. TakeOver. He's Mr. TakeOver. But what happened with Matt Riddle, the reason why he's not getting pushed now is because of his tweets on Goldberg on Twitter. And the way that JD said all of that, I kind of agree with it because wasn't he supposed to get a push? He was supposed to get a big push towards the NXT Championship. What happened to his push? And then we found out on an NXT review from what he did. He said specifically what happened. I specifically agree with it. Because of his comments on Goldberg, and Triple H saw that. He's going to hold Matt Riddle's push Gargano and Cole again for part 3, which I'm not going to complain at all. Then you hold his push until he learns his lesson. Now, if I was to take a guess, if Matt Riddle starts to learn his lesson and he learned what he fucked up, and he starts using social media more of a building process towards, his promos and stuff, his merchandise promotion, stuff like that, because social media is a powerful tool. It really, really is. I think if Matt Riddle learns this lesson, Triple H can see that and say, okay, he's learned his lesson. Let's continue on with this push. Then you give us Cole versus Riddle at TakeOver Chicago for the NXT Championship. Believe me, Triple H has bigger plans going from TakeOver Houston all the way to TakeOver Tampa WrestleMania weekend. Believe me, especially when Ciampa comes back, because it's only a matter of time before Ciampa comes back. Do you think Triple H wants to put the NXT Championship back on Ciampa to finish that storyline between Ciampa and Gargano? He wants to. Deep in Triple H's core, deep down his soul, he wants to finish that between Ciampa and Gargano. He could have finished that at TakeOver New York, but he couldn't because Ciampa got hurt with his neck. You know how bad Triple H wanted that match at TakeOver between Gargano and Cole? Between Gargano and Ciampa? You know how bad he wanted this? This is a second blessing. This is more of a second chance for Triple H once Ciampa comes back. You think Triple H wants to book Cole versus Ciampa at TakeOver Houston? Have Ciampa win back the championship? And then you turn Gargano heel? Then you give me Gargano versus Ciampa at TakeOver Tampa WrestleMania weekend for the NXT Championship? This has to eat Triple H alive. It just has to. It just has to. But Matt Riddle versus Killian Dain, the match never got underway. The match never even started. We take a look at the breakout tournament. I think I'm picking Cameron Grimes here to win. I'm really gonna pick Cameron Grimes to win over Jordan Miles next week. We take a look at the NXT breakout tournament. We are down to the finals with Jordan Miles and Cameron Grimes. We'll find out next week on NXT TV. I'm picking Cameron Grimes to win next week. Right there and then. We are back with a look at what happened last week when the Forgotten Sons attacked Tyler Breeze after his victory over Jackson Riker. Kathy Kelly had comments on Tyler and Fandango last week. Tyler wants to know where was Fandango. Fandango says he was in too deep. Yeah, that's what she said. They were so concerned about policing everyone about the fashion sense that they haven't been policing themselves. Fandango says it was whack. It is whack. Tyler wants to know what to do now. Fandango suggests a makeover. Breezango reimagined. Let's see about that. Next week we get Breezango versus the Forgotten Sons. Next week. We take a look back at the prime target for Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole match for the NXT Championship. If you guys seen it, you guys already seen it. Gargano says that TakeOver 25, Adam Cole was the better man. They had Matt Bloom there. They had Tegan Knox talk. Who else they had there? They had Seth Rollins talk. Then that was on Gargano's side. Cole's side, he was in Texas for a touring loop. He was going all over the world to defend his title against anyone. We see him facing Keith Lee in Dallas. Adam says he cannot be stopped. Gargano was talking to Rollins about their matches on SummerSlam weekend. Then we see Cole continuing on the roll on the Bay Championship Celebration Tour. We see Johnny talking to Finn Balor. Then we get some fans with the predictions for Cole versus Gargano. Regal says we'll find out how good Adam Cole is after Toronto because he knows how good Johnny Gargano is. Brian James, Road Dogg, wonders if Johnny can cement his legacy by winning. Kevin Owens says that this match tarnish Johnny's legacy because not matter how great he is, he will be losing to Adam Cole. Kevin Owens also says he's a fan of Adam Cole. Tyler Breeze says both men are very capable and it can go either way. Serena Deeb, she's a trainer for NXT PC, says this will show who is the face of NXT. Terry Taylor says the fans will not lose regardless of the result. Robbie Brookside says this will be a 5-star classic. And from there, the show goes off the air on the WWE Network. Adam Cole versus Gargano 1. NXT TakeOver New York. Gargano wins the NXT Championship in one of the greatest main event matches in NXT TakeOver history. NXT TakeOver 25. The second match between Cole and Gargano. Cole was the better man. He won the NXT Championship. Cole versus Gargano 3. NXT TakeOver Toronto. Cole picked a regular one-on-one match. Gargano picked a street fight. If the match goes to a third fall, which we all know it's going to be because why not? It's fucking TakeOver, so why not go out on a blaze of glory? You have William Regal announce the third and final fall. The third and final fall, folks, in my prediction, wait till Friday. Friday, I already have my prediction on my notes here on my phone. I already have my prediction on my notes. I got everything there on my notes on my phone. I gave you guys a cliffhanger. You guys want my prediction on what the third fall will be? Wait till Friday's podcast. Wait till Friday's episode of the Reality Podcast. I will give you guys my insight. I will give you guys everything that you guys need to know about TakeOver on Saturday night. Everything else. NXT TakeOver Toronto. Listen, I'm getting goosebumps just by even thinking about this. NXT TakeOver Toronto will be, in my opinion, top 5 greatest takeovers of all time. If not top 5, top 10 greatest takeover shows of all time. This card has the absolute potential to be the greatest wrestling show of the entire year. Yes, better than Double or Nothing, better than All Out, better than WrestleMania, better than the Royal Rumble. Take it what you will. Take it what you will. NXT TakeOver Toronto, Triple H is literally and figuratively going to go all out with guns blazing on Saturday night. Seriously. Oh, but I will give you guys this prediction though. Tommaso Ciampa makes his return on Saturday night at TakeOver. We see Ciampa come back on Saturday night for NXT TakeOver Toronto. He will show up. I think he will show up at some point. Either he shows up on the pre-show or the kickoff show before TakeOver, and he announces that he's cleared to come back. And whoever is the NXT champion by after TakeOver Toronto, you're gonna face Ciampa down the road. You're gonna face Ciampa. Ciampa wants Goldie back, or we get Ciampa come back during. I'm just gonna sit here and guess during the third fall of NXT TakeOver Toronto, and it could help Gargano win the NXT Championship. I'm not saying my prediction. I'm not saying Ciampa is gonna come back and help Gargano win the championship. That's not my prediction. I will give you guys my full prediction on Friday's episode of the Reality Podcast. And that, folks, is the reality of things. Thank you guys so much for watching NXT Review. If you guys enjoyed the review, hit that thumbs up. Leave a comment down below what you guys thought of NXT tonight. And also, what is your match order for NXT TakeOver Toronto? And what match are you mostly excited for TakeOver on Saturday night? If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below and turn on those bells for all notifications. Smack the like review live on the channel right now, episode 45 and 46 of the Reality Podcast, live on the channel right now as we speak. This is the official home of the Reality Podcast, so make sure you are connected with your boy Chris on social media. Twitter, Chris from Loring, and Snapchat, Chris was hated. And like I said, if you guys are enjoying the content, be sure to show your support by hitting that subscribe button down below and turn those bells for notifications. I will see you guys on Friday. I will not upload tomorrow. I'm off tomorrow. I have work tomorrow, so I'm not going to have nothing upload for you guys tomorrow. I will see you guys on Friday for episode number 47 of the Reality Podcast, where I give you guys my preview and predictions video for NXT TakeOver Toronto. You guys do not want to miss this episode of the podcast. Until then, I am Chris. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share the video all over social media. I will see you guys on Friday for episode 47 of the Reality Podcast. Until then, I am Chris. Talk to you guys later.